Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm back out in the workshop after last night. I don't know what time it is, 10:20. And this is completely dry. I love the texture, and when I see bottles of ink like this in thrift stores that don't cost that much, I typically buy them, whether they're like refill inks or alcohol inks. This happens to be an alcohol ink. It's Adirondack and it's in cranberry. And I wanted to just add additional like feeling and texture to this napkin. And you know how I am. I didn't think ahead, well, I want to add cranberry to this. I just saw it and I want just some additional texture. So what I was doing was putting little drops at the very outer edge of the napkin, I should say. And it seems like it just wants to run along the edge and the folds. I hope you can see it. I know it's hard when it's sideways like this. Comes out pretty fast and then it just runs right along. And I also have some different colors, and maybe I will add some of that too. I might end up doing something around the edge of, like around her, but I'm not sure yet. I don't think I'm just going to pour drops on there, because I can't really control what it's going to do once I drop it out. There, I put enough to just run right along. I think that adds to the texture. I had originally thought about doing something steampunk. Maybe I mentioned that in the last video. I don't remember if I did or not. But then, just looking at those fabrics and the book cover and this napkin, and then I did end up going in and finding, I bought a kit from Priscilla, part of a kit. I think it's the green witchery, because I love some of the images in here. I love all of them, but particularly for this project. This is one, I went ahead and glued some images from that kit on this side of these pages. And again, I'm going to be adding my own art somewhere. What did I do with the little cutout? Let me see if I took it. Maybe this is it. You know, when you're using a kit, it can be a foundation to add to. You don't have to just say, well, I'm going to just fold these and use them just like they are. I have this partially stamped butterfly. A lot of times if my stamps still have a little bit of ink on them and I'm cleaning them off with a wet paintbrush, I continue to stamp just to clean off the ink, the stamp, and also to get these partial prints. So I think I might put this one on here and sew around it with the sewing machine. I think that would be really pretty. I may end up covering some of the words and keeping the parts that I want to add to. So it's just a beautiful foundation to be adding. And as you can see, this is heading in sort of a nature direction, but it's also very old. And I do have some watch pieces and clock pieces that I want to add in. So this doesn't feel completely steampunk to me, maybe not even at all. And yet, if I have a not time travel, but like a lost in time sort of thing, I think I can bring in some of those elements and it's going to be really pretty. So this is all I've done so far. I wanted to come out this morning and check on the book cover, and we have so much more we're going to add. I think I'm probably going to put a piece of lace under here. We have the things to add to this side. We're going to be adding the fabric that's going to be the spine, where all the pages are going to be sewn into, and some sort of a closure. So there's a lot that's going to be added to this. And yeah, I like it. You know, if I decided, we're just going to be brave and see what this looks like. If I wanted to change the color of that red, I'm wondering what it would look like to add this darker color on top. This is ginger. Don't really want it to get too far into the bird there. I love that alcohol ink dries so fast. And we may put another layer of something over this whole cover. I'm not done with it. That's the point. It's not complete yet. Ooh, look how that's running in that direction. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there and let that dry, and we're gonna come back to all of this. I wanna do a few different things, but I did wanna show you what I was doing with the cover before I put it to the side and we keep working on the pages. Okay, I pulled out this box of watch parts, and I'm really thinking about adding a couple of pieces to the front. They do have tiny little holes in them so that I could possibly sew them to the front, which I think would be cool. I've also thought about putting some sort of frame around them, some sort of framework to kind of protect them, and I don't know, maybe make them stand out. I don't know yet what I would use for that. I've been thinking about all sorts of things. Got game pieces. I have a bunch more over here. Let's see. I have little pieces of wood. I don't know. They might be nice too, just to put like that. And I could also put fabric under them. But isn't this amazing? I lucked out the day that I found all of these. There's a piece in there that's moving. It is so smooth. I don't know what's making it move. But I know that I want this book to feel layered, and I don't want to, well, you know, I chase ideas. If I get something in my mind, I go ahead and go for it. And sometimes I don't do a lot of thinking about different things. But I also do want to I do want to give some thought to this, because I've had this idea in mind for a while, and I wanted to, I don't know. I want to spend a little time on it. I don't know if I want that or not. I'm just seeing how it would look to have a piece of fabric or something behind these. We could also just put one on there, and this one's got this ring already in the bottom. Something could hang from that. And if we have some trim behind here, we've also got to pick something, maybe some fabric to go on the inside. That's going to be so amazing. Okay, I want to think a little bit, and I'm going to turn the camera off just while I'm doing some thinking about this book. I've also got this beautiful fabric that has got a lot of, it was rust, but then I had some very dark metal pieces in the water as well, and it gave it a black look, which I really, really like the way this turned out. I'm probably going to use some of this in it too. I will be back, and I want to possibly use this on a page, but I'm not sure. That's kind of a big piece. But it could end up being a thick journal. I think this comes apart. Or does it not? No. Maybe it's just meant to be like the magnifying glass. And then I have another locket thing that comes apart, wherever that is. Okay, I picked out some pieces that I do want to attach to the front, and I thought I would turn the camera on again so that you can see. I just laid these pieces down, and fortunately for me, these watch pieces do have holes in them. Some of the holes are tiny, some are bigger. I laid these down where I wanted them, and then I took a black fine tip Sharpie, and let's see, I believe this one was here, because I've got this hanging down, and then we're going to have another piece over here somewhere. Maybe it was there, but for now I'm just going for it. I'm going to put some holes in here with the awl, and I'm going to one at a time put these in place. And I'm thinking about using the sewing machine, and I realize this leaves these bumps on the back. I'm not worried about that because I know, like, I can press this down in the front and have it pretty smooth, and that hole is going to be hidden, and we're going to have thread going through there anyway. But on the back here, let's see. Not really sure. You could sand it down perhaps. But another thing that's going to happen is that I'm going to have fabric on the inside, and that's going to be glued over this. So there could be some lumps under the fabric, but again, I'm not too worried about that right now. We're just kind of making a piece of art, and a junk journal or art journal is definitely a piece of art. So I'm just going to go with what feels right. You do not want to get your finger. I have done that once before. I don't even know how I did it, but it did not feel good. It was sharp. Okay, so I have the 4 holes for this thing, and I think I might try to sew it with the sewing machine to start with. When you use a zigzag stitch, you set the, and it may not work. I may have made these too far apart. You set the length to 0. Is that right? Yeah, so that the fabric's not going to move. But the needle, you want it to go side to side. So you set the width for as wide as you want it to be. And then make sure it's going to go in those 2 holes. And then you just sew it in place. I might go ahead and punch these other holes. I don't know. I want to see how this goes first. But I'm going to turn the camera off for now and sew this. Okay, that attached really nicely. I like that. I hope you can see. I just stitched quite a bit. I let the needle just go back and forth using the zigzag with the length set at 0. I had pre-punched those holes. Maybe seeing the back will show you kind of what I'm talking about. It's a better illustration maybe, because you get a clear picture of just the stitching. So I'm going to tie these threads off so they're not hanging underneath of where that fabric's going to be. And maybe I'll tie them on the front too and just let some hang down. I'm not sure yet. You can see I did go ahead and add some ink around her. I just want this to feel old, grungy. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. These holes in some of these watch pieces are so tiny, but my sewing machine needle did fit through. It caught a few times on this one, and I got an error message on the machine. So instead of trying to use the pedal, I just turned the wheel really slowly to go back and forth. You can tell there aren't as many stitches on this one as some of the others, but I've tied them off. I left these 2 hanging. This piece of lace here is from a vintage dress that I cut apart. I think this dress was probably from the early 1900s. And I'm gonna glue this, I think, to the back. I don't have a whole lot more of this dress, but I think I have enough to piece together additional lace that's gonna go on the inside of the back. And I've got to figure out a way to continue to grunge up these book covers. So I'm thinking the theme is, I think the book title was called Bound Girl. I think that's right. But I'm thinking Lost Girl. And I don't know. I just feel like maybe she was traveling on a ship that got stranded or shipwrecked on an island. And of course, there's a lot of nature there. We've got pieces that have floated ashore, maybe representing just being lost in time. And this is her, and all she has is herself and what she's wearing and what she can salvage from the boat. But she does know a lot about nature. You can see the bird on the front. And this could be a part of her dress, something that, you know, clothing would tear apart after a while and you would have to figure out a way just to stay alive and maintain. We're going to maintain not and put those strings on there. I don't even know what I just said. We're going to maintain not putting those strings under there. How about that? But let's get this in place. And somewhere I have my little glue thingy. Oh, it was right in front of me. Oh my goodness. Let's put enough to really hold it, because there's just enough fabric to run over a little bit, and I want to put the tiniest, it's going to have the tiniest gather in it just because it's a little more than, see how it hangs over a little bit? So we're just going to pull it in, and I definitely want enough glue to hold. Oh, did I put it on backwards? No, that's right. So let's pull it back a tiny bit. So you can see it's gonna, the cover's gonna be a little bit bulky, and I like that. That's kind of what I want. We're gonna have fabric on the inside, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna press this fabric for sure, but I'm thinking it would be pretty to have some of this floral on the inside. That is just so beautiful. Okay, so there we are for now. I do want to keep turning on the camera so you can see as we go what we're doing. So there's the back. And I've just been thinking, what could I do to keep grunging up the cover? There's a little paper I made last night, which totally clashes with this project, but I came across a channel. The artist's name is Kanzi. I think it's Send It. I need to look again. I just came across her channel last night, and she was showing how to fold zines. And my friend Sent on the channel, Cynthia, I think your nickname is short for Cynthia, had sent me some links about making zines where you take one piece of paper and fold it. So that's what I want to do with that sheet of paper. I'm looking for my black ink pad. I think it might be in the house. So I wonder if we chose another color. I'm hesitant to just jump right into the rusty hinge. Well, this is almost out of ink anyway, and maybe actually that might be the color that's best. And what if we roughed it up a little bit? That might take some work. And I would probably want to go outside where I'm not breathing in that dust. Yeah, I kind of like that. I need to get a new set of ink pads at some point. These are still okay. Yeah, I like that. So we will let those continue to dry. And I guess I should come up with enough of this lace to go on the inside of this cover. Maybe as long as we're sitting here with these covers, we'll do that part, because I know how I am. Be moved on to something else, and then I won't be able to find the lace part. I know we had another little piece, which I have promptly lost already. But this might be okay. It's not going to be the whole thing, but that's okay too. Let's cut it a little longer, and we want it to be this way. And let's go ahead and put some glue down. Amy, I love my glue. Thank you so much. And is this gonna be right? I may not even be in camera, sorry. I was putting glue out here to the edge so that I can pull that ruffle in some, and it's okay if it's a little messy. So that's gonna be the book covers. I like it so far. I don't know how everybody else is feeling about it. I probably should have, well, maybe that lace will hang down out of the way. I was gonna say I probably should have distressed this one on the edge before I put the lace on, but it's gonna be okay. And you know how I feel about things. You just correct and create as you go along. I probably don't need to do this edge because it's quite possible that we're gonna have a little bit of fabric going over the edge, but I'm not sure about that yet. I'm not sure how I wanna bind this. The fabric may be completely on the inside where we bind it. Ooh, I love that. Look how grungy that looks. I can't remember if I said on the channel, so all orders that have been placed have gone out. And I think I've mentioned in the past about my printer acting up. And I didn't really want to get rid of it. It's been a great printer. It's the HP DeskJet. I think I had a 3600 series, had it for a long time, and it started acting up. And I would, you know, work with it, clean the heads, and just do everything to it that you're supposed to do, and it would be okay for a little bit. But it finally just completely quit working on Wednesday. And I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. One of those days I was all set to package orders and I went to print and it would do nothing. Jason had a special tool. You needed a screwdriver, but the end of it had to be one of those star shapes. Very unusual, and he always has everything. I don't know how he does that, but he had a complete set. So we took it apart. The inside of the printer was standing full of ink. So I got on Amazon and started looking at printers. I got on HP and looked at printers, but I ended up ordering a printer the next day from Amazon. It's an HP printer. It's another Hewlett Packard. I've really had good luck with them. So they sent it. It came late Thursday night. I mean, after I was asleep, I think. And they really deliver late. Amazon really does deliver late sometimes. I mean, I'm saying that as a good thing. They're on time, but what I mean is if they say they're going to be there between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., they usually are. So I set it up on Friday and got everything out yesterday. So I apologize. That took me a couple more days than I wanted, but I'm so excited to have a new printer. Only thing that's worrying me is that when I print, it seems like the image is not... It's centered this way, like there's the same white strip across the top and the bottom, but then lengthwise, it seems like this white strip outside of the image is wider than on this side. I'll figure it out though. At least I can print my labels now. So once again, I'm gonna stop. I did want to keep you updated though, or like show every step that I do on this, because I think it helps to see how people make their journals. I like to watch how other people do things, and you know, it inspires you, it gives you ideas. Even if you don't copy people exactly, it might solve something you've been trying to work out with what you're doing. So that's all for this one for right now. And I think I'm gonna make some more pages like you've already seen me make. I may go ahead and start getting some pages ready to go in the book. And I'll be back really soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.